I was 17 the night my family decided I was no longer one of them. It didn't happen with yelling or violence or some dramatic meltdown. No, it was quieter than that. Scarier, too. It happened around my mother's dining table, during one of those Friday dinners where everyone pretended we were the perfect American family. The kind neighbors admired. The family that smiled wide for Christmas photos and showed up early to church even when they'd spent the night tearing each other apart. My father sat at the head of the table, the way a man sits when he believes the world belongs to him. My mother placed a dish of baked ziti in the center like nothing unusual was coming, and my older brother Nathan lounged in his chair scrolling on his phone, waiting for the food to be served to him like a prince. Nobody noticed I wasn't smiling. Maybe they didn't care. My father cleared his throat, the same way he always did before he delivered an order. He looked at me for a long moment, those cold blue eyes flicking over me like I was some stranger he was evaluating, not his child. "We've talked," he said. "Your mother and I, and after your latest stunt." I blinked. What stunt? "That disrespectful nonsense about wanting to take a gap year," my mother cut in, her voice soft but dripping judgment. "After everything we've invested in you, after all the sacrifices we made, you want to run around the world like some lost backpacker? No, that's not who we raised." Nathan snorted. "She just wants an excuse to be lazy." My jaw tightened. "It's not laziness. I want time to figure out what I actually want to study. That's responsible." My father shook his head. "Responsible is sticking to the plan. My plan, you go to Yale like we agreed, you study law like I did, you follow the family tradition. That's what the Carters do." I'd heard that line my whole life. The Carters do this. The Carters don't do that. The Carters don't question. The Carters don't let emotion cloud judgment. The Carters don't choose their own path. But I'd always been the defective piece in their perfect system. I wasn't loud like Nathan, or obedient like my mother, or power-hungry like my father. I liked photography, writing, people, real people. I wanted something different, and that alone made me the threat. "You're not listening," I said. "I don't want Yale. I don't want law. I don't want a future that feels like yours." My father's jaw tensed. "Then you don't want this family." Silence, heavy, suffocating, absolute. My mother rested her hand on his forearm. "We think it's best if you take some time away. Maybe living on your own will help you understand how fortunate you are, how ungrateful you've been." Nathan smirked. "Basically, little sister, you're cut off." The room spun. "You're kicking me out." My father didn't blink. "Effective tonight. We'll pay your last month of rent at your apartment, but beyond that, you're on your own. No college support, no trust fund, no safeties." My mother folded a napkin, smoothing it like the conversation wasn't destroying me. "It'll build character." Nathan muttered, "Or break her, but hey, natural selection." I stood so fast the chair scraped the floor. "You're unbelievable, all of you." My father didn't raise his voice. "When you're ready to apologize and fall in line, the door will be open." But it was, and we all knew it. I left that night with a suitcase of clothes, $200 in my bank account, and a dawning realization that my family had never loved me, only the version of me they wanted to control. The next few years weren't romantic, inspirational, or pretty. They were brutal. I worked at a grocery store unloading delivery trucks in the freezing mornings. I slept on a mattress on the floor of an apartment where the heat barely worked. I ate ramen until my stomach rebelled. I cried alone in bathrooms so people wouldn't see. I had no plan, no safety net, no one checking in to make sure I was okay. But for the first time in my life, I was free. And freedom did something to me, something sharp, something powerful. While stocking shelves one day, I overheard the store manager complaining about their marketing budget being cut and their social media engagement tanking. And something clicked. I'd always liked photography, design, storytelling. I offered, more like begged, to run their social media for free, certain they would laugh me out of the room. They didn't. The manager shrugged and said, "If you can make it better, go ahead." So I did. Within months, I tripled their online engagement. Local papers wrote about how a small grocery store unexpectedly became a social media darling. Customers came in saying, "We saw your TikTok." From there, other small businesses reached out, then mid-size ones. I hustled nonstop, carrying cameras in backpacks, editing videos at 2 a.m., posting at dawn. By 21, I was making more money freelancing than I ever imagined possible. By 22, I launched my own branding agency. By 25, I wasn't just successful, I was something my father never thought possible. Untouchable. My agency became known for rebuilding dying companies, revamping brands, and creating online empires. I wasn't just good. I was strategic, ruthless, and smarter than every person who ever underestimated me. And one day, the universe delivered me a gift wrapped in irony. A failing real estate group contacted my agency for a rebranding proposal. Their email signature nearly stopped my heart. Carter & Sons Real Estate Group. My family's company. The same business my father used to brag about while insisting I would inherit a corner office one day if I did everything exactly his way. Apparently, the company had been spiraling for years. Bad investments, lawsuits, a market crash, Nathan's terrible management, my father's outdated strategies. They were drowning, and everyone in the industry knew it. And now, they were reaching out to me. Me. The disappointment they cut off. I didn't respond, not yet. Instead, I researched everything. Court filings, bankruptcies, properties seized, investors suing, everything they had tried to hide behind that polished Carter facade. Their empire hadn't just cracked, it had collapsed. And I could buy the ruins. Months later, I walked into the auction for what used to be my father's pride. The room buzzed with whispers as I took my seat. People recognized me. People recognized my last name. And when the bidding began, I lifted my paddle with a calmness I didn't recognize in myself. Because I wasn't that 17-year-old girl anymore. When the gavel struck, the auctioneer announced the winning bid. The Carter properties, every building, asset, office, storage unit, and vehicle, now belonged to me. I bought everything they lost. With my own money. Money they swore I'd never make. When I visited the old headquarters, Nathan stood outside smoking, angry and defeated. He looked up and froze when he saw me. "You," he spat, "figures." "Hello, Nathan," I said. "I hear business hasn't been good." He laughed bitterly. "Our investors bylaid. Dad had a breakdown, Mom left him, and now you're here to rub it in." "No," I replied. "I'm here because I own this building now, and everything inside it." He stared at me like he was seeing a ghost. "You can't be serious." "Very." When I stepped inside my father's former office, he was sitting in the leather chair that once made him look invincible. Now he looked small, older, defeated. He stood slowly. "I suppose congratulations are in order." "Not necessary," I said. My mother watched from the corner, arms folded tightly like she was holding herself together. My father cleared his throat. "If you just followed the plan." I cut him off. "I did mine." He flinched. For once, he didn't have a comeback. My mother stepped forward. "We were only trying to guide you." "No," I said. "You were trying to control me." Silence settled like dust, heavy. I lifted the keys to the building and placed them on the desk. "These are staying with me," I said. "But I didn't come here to humiliate you. I came here to end this." My father swallowed hard. "End what?" "The idea that I needed any of you to become something." My mother whispered, "Do you hate us?" I took a breath. "I don't think about you enough to hate you." I watched the words land. Hard, brutal, true. I turned to leave, pausing at the doorway. "I hope you find a way to rebuild your lives. I already rebuilt mine." And then I walked out, the click of my heels echoing through the empty hallways of a kingdom that used to belong to them. Now it belonged to the girl they threw away. And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel like a disappointment. I felt like justice. I felt like closure. I felt like everything they lost. And everything I finally gained.